Some of the best ideas come from dreams. The Beatles' Yesterday, sewing machines, and even the periodic table have all started off in the dream world of their creators. These subconscious creations have impacted the world in different ways, and the cultural significance of the Mexican alebrije is no different. Take a moment to study the photos. You see a zebra, but why does it have wings and many colors? Well, it started with a dream. Mexican artist Pedro Linares was known for his papier-mâché works. As a cartonero, Linares used to create Mexican folk art like piñatas and other small figurines that he would sell in Mexico City. At 30 years old, he became very ill. Unable to visit a doctor, he was forced to recover at home and soon fell unconscious. In this unconscious state, he had a vivid dream of creatures he had never seen before that had formed from the scenery before him. He would later recall that the creatures looked almost mythological, with familiar features but in wild colors and having mismatched body parts. He described mules with dragonfly wings and roosters with antlers. At one point in his dream, Linares described the creatures chanting alebrije, 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 a word which translates to imagery or fantasy. This startled Linares and caused him to wake up from his fever dream. When he awoke, he was recovered from his illness and began recreating the creatures he saw in the dream. The alebrijes, which he named after the chanting he heard, were first made of papier-mâché. They were large, bold in color, and bizarre, but that did not deter people from purchasing them. These unique figurines became quite popular, and soon Mexican artists like Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera commissioned Linares' work. By the mid-1940s, alebrijes were a staple in Mexican folk art. In 1975, Linares was featured in Judith Bernowski's documentary Artesanos Mexicanos. This film catapulted Linares' international career and introduced his colorful creations worldwide. For his work, Linares was awarded the Mexican National Prize for Folk Art and Traditions in 1990, one of the country's highest honors in the arts. Post-Mexican Revolution, there was a shift in artistic ideals. Rather than producing art in a European style, intellectuals and politicians pushed for a more traditional Mexican-centered aesthetic in the hopes of unifying a war-torn country. Embracing indigenous and folk arts created throughout Mexico, the production of these art styles grew thanks to sponsored exhibits, and alebrijes were part of this movement 20 years later. Over the years, an artistic shift happened in the Mexican state of Oaxaca after Linares moved there and showed the local wood artists how to create alebrijes. Already highly regarded for their traditional wood carving that can be traced back to the pre-Spanish Zapotec culture, wood carvers from Oaxaca embraced this new style of art. Oaxaca native Manuel Jimenez can be credited for being the first to create a wood alebrije, specifically using the copal wood. He combined Linares' vision with the traditional carving techniques of the region. Over time, other wood carvers began making alebrijes. The wood of the female copal tree is used as it is easier to carve. Boys traditionally gathered the wood while men carved the figures and women painted them. The carving process may take up to a month to complete, and tools like chisels and knives are used. Once carved, the wood is left to dry. Depending on the size, the drying process can take up to 10 months. While the wood is drying, cracks may occur, but simple repairing methods like using wooden shims and a mixture of sawdust and glue can help repair these cracks. The paint that brings alebrijes to life was traditionally made of natural dyes. However, over time they began to fade, so in more contemporary pieces, latex-based paint is used. Descendants of both Linares and Jimenez still create alebrijes to this day. Alebrijes have become synonymous with Mexican culture for nearly 80 years. They have been celebrated since 2007 in Mexico City during the Desfile de Alebrijes Monumentales. This parade honors the folk art of Mexico, where hundreds of larger-than-life alebrijes are marched throughout the streets. The papier-mâché alebrijes, handmade by thousands of participants, can sometimes be up to 13 feet tall. For many, alebrijes have also served as a spirit guide who join them in their journey to the afterlife. Alebrijes may also be included on the altars made by families while celebrating El Día de los Muertos. Internationally, exhibits showcasing alebrijes have been done in Poland, Canada, England, and the United States. And in 2019, Mexico officially declared alebrijes as part of their cultural heritage. Dreams sometimes take us to unknown worlds. Knowing that what once was a dream turned into a cultural phenomenon for Mexico really makes you wonder what your dreams are truly capable of creating.